All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, April 28th. We got two NBA playoff games to dive into in today's video like we always do. I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games, so both of them. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'm going to give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That'll take you to all of my final plays, so what I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, it's absolutely free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3, 4 more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. Yesterday we split. We go 2-2. Let's see if we can get the graphic up. There it is right there. So 2-2. LeBron under 5.5 assists. Finishes with 8, I believe. Lakers Timberwolves over. That one crushed. We've been liking the over in that series. Derek White over 19.5 points. Loved that one. And then the Bucks team total. Didn't expect Damian Lillard to get injured there, so not to make an excuse, but I guess to make an excuse there. He ends up playing, 6 minutes of that game, so they finished 10 shy of the number. Would Dame have made up for that? I would like to think so, but ultimately, it is what it is. We can't really say, oh, well, Dame, if he played, it would have hit. Doesn't matter. It's still a loss on the book, right? So 2-2 night there yesterday. But let's go ahead and jump into today, and maybe we find some winners today. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. NBA playoffs are obviously very, very tough, and we're hanging in there pretty damn well. So let's start it off here. We got Miami taking on Cleveland. So Cleveland on the verge of closing this series out. They've won game 121 or 120. We have that up. 121-100, then they win game 2, 121-112, and then they win game 3 in Miami, 124-87. That was without Darius Garland. Now, Darius Garland's also listed as questionable today. In terms of a side, I don't think that I actually get this down myself, but it's hard not to like Cleveland, right? Miami doesn't even look like they're on the same level as this Cleveland squad. I will say this is Miami. They do have, the Miami-esque basketball sort of thought where they're going to throw at least a punch at you somewhere. They're at home facing elimination. If there's any game to win or any game to keep close, it's probably this one. That's kind of why I don't necessarily want to, be all over them, the Cavs today. I will say I'm definitely considering throwing another play on the over. Now, last time we played this one was just a couple days ago, and we lost the over. We had the over, what was it, 212.5? The game finished just one bucket shy of that. So I'm not sitting here being like, oh my God, that's terrible. What a bad look. It's like one more layup, a couple foul shots that were missed throughout the game, and we do cash that over, right? So I could take that in the direction of that was slightly a decent read. And this total being even lower now, I don't know. Cleveland, man, they've just been putting up such big numbers that they're carrying this thing. And again, if Miami today throws any sort of an offensive punch or anything like that towards Cleveland, I think this results in a decent spot for an over. Now, Darius Garland, again, is questionable. I'd love him to play because we have a guy that can obviously put in 20 himself type of thing. But even if he doesn't play, it's still something that I would consider. I think the pick and roll is a great spot for this Cleveland squad. So Donovan Mitchell, all those guys that handle in the pick and roll, but Darius Garland for sure, that could contribute a lot of points as well. So hoping Garland plays for an over, but give me Cleveland as well as the over. Cleveland is probably just a lean. Over has a chance of being a final play. In terms of two player props, I have two Cavs that I like. First off, Jared Allen, double-double. So far in this series, he really hasn't been all that bad, right? I mean, in terms of his rebounds, he's gone 11, 8, and 10. So 2 of the 3 games so far in this series, he's been able to get the rebounds that he needs. In terms of his points, he's gone 12, 9, and 22. So he's had 2 double-doubles so far in this series, and we've noticed that he's just getting a decent amount of rebound chances, right? Like last game, and when I mean by getting a decent amount of rebound chances, not necessarily like the number of rebound chances is higher, but he's been he's been converting his rebound chances, which he's done all year long, but he's been converting over 60% of his rebound chances, which is very, very good, meaning he's getting the chances, and if it's in his vicinity, he's grabbing it. I think the points are going to be more of a concern today, which is kind of why I went towards double-double, because his points line is at 12.5, meaning he'd need essentially for him, because he is not going to take any threes, he'd need like 2 buckets or maybe an extra foul shot to get those extra 3 points past the 10 points. So I like him for a double-double. I think the rebounds should be a good spot. If you like his rebounds, 10.5. I don't necessarily mind that, but just get 10 for us, Jared Allen. Get the 10 points. We'll be out of dodge. Plus 115 right now is what we're getting for that. The next player prop spot we like, and I will admit this, we found and kind of threw in because of the value we're getting. Minus 148, you're probably like, wait, that's really, really juiced, right? Minus 148 for DeAndre Hunter over 1.5 3-pointers made. On other books, this thing is in the minus 160s, minus 170, minus 180 on some places. So yeah, minus 148. We're actually getting some decent value. So that's kind of why we jumped on the board. And the more and more I look into it, the more I like. Is he going to get the crazy quantity that we probably need for this? No, but when he plays 20 or more minutes, which I think he'll play 20 minutes today, he's actually hit this in 8 straight games of playing 20 or more minutes. So we do like to see that, obviously. When, on the road this year, which is I also think something worth noting, or I guess important to note, he's been crushing it as well. So on the road this year, and this is going to include, obviously, games that he played, when he was not necessarily on the Cavs, but he hit it in 71.1% of games on the road. 69% of games when he's at home, so still very good, but on the road, clearly something that, he was doing very, very well against the Heat here in terms of, just this year. One game back with the Hawks here, but he averaged 1.8 threes per game. That first game in which, game 1 of this series in which he didn't really play many minutes, he didn't even shoot a three. So if we throw that one out and we say, okay, well, let's just take a peek at games that you take, let's say 2 attempts from 3, he's hit this in 3 of 4, averaging 2.3. So yeah, kind of like DeAndre Hunter here. Again, we found it because of the initial value, that 12 cents at minimum of value, but we're getting like 35 cents of value compared to some books. I liked it there, but then the numbers kind of track and invalidate it as well. So Darius Garland over 1.5 3-pointers made as player prop number 2. Now, guys, before we do move on to the next game here, we do have a freebie in this game, and it's over on Sleeper Picks. Jimmy Butler, 0.5 points is his line over on Sleeper Picks if you sign up today. And if you sign up today and deposit, they're also going to match that deposit up to $100. Absolute no-brainer. Sleeper is so unique in the sense that they have more lines, more alternate lines, more squares available than most of the other apps out there, but I love the payout system. I talk about that all the time. I do think that is the best thing that they have, is that each and every play you throw into your square or into your slip, based on those squares, will change the payout dynamically, because each and every square has its own multiplier, which is very, very cool. So go ahead and check it out, guys. I've had a blast on Sleeper for over 2 years now. Definitely one of, if not my favorite DFS player prop app out there. If you like player props, this is a great place for you. If it's available in your state and you're not on it yet, you will regret it if you do not take advantage of it. And again, this is the OG deal that they offered when they first came out. How awesome is that? A deposit match up to $100. They're bringing it back. I'm not sure for how long, but go double your money instantly. Check it out, guys. That link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. Sleeper Picks, Jimmy Butler free square, 100% of your first deposit matched up to $100. Go ahead and check it out. All right, we just talked about Jimmy. Let's go ahead and dive into this game. Golden State taking on Houston right now. Golden State leads this one 2-1, and they do, they are still at home here. They win that game 104-93. Obviously a good game, but you didn't really get too much out of Houston, right? Like Jalen Green had, 9 points, Van Fleet 17. Defense has been the thing here in this one, with the exception, I guess, of Steph Curry, right? We've seen a bunch of low-scoring games. You even see the total at 200.5, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even think that I'm going to get there. Jalen Green had was it game 1 or game 2? But ultimately, I think the Warriors have been a little bit more consistent, and they're at home here. They obviously have the more experience, so I think I'm going to lean Golden State. But I want to say my player prop, which we'll talk about afterwards, is my favorite look in this one. And we've already kind of lost, we already lost on this guy in this series. So we'll talk about that in a second. The total is something that's really interesting me right now. I want to look at the over. I think that this one can get to 201. We've seen some decent offense from both teams, in terms of this line. I wouldn't say decent offense overall, but both teams have had at least one game in the series where they go for, 100 plus. 104 to the Warriors last game, 109 to the Rockets in game number 2. Game number 1, I don't think that we're going to see, Houston shoot under 40% from the field, 20% from 3 again. Golden State shot kind of mediocre, but they were the one that won that game. So I think that we're going to see, much like we've been kind of deciphering in some of these playoff games of, well, yeah, it's good defense, but there's also been some bad shooting nights that are taking these totals and bringing them down. I think that we have something similar to that today, and I've already seen this bump to 201.5 on some places and whatnot, so I'm going to lean over in this one. I think that the pace, will stay somewhat similar, so it's not like we're going to blow this out of the water, but I do think that we have a little bit more of, efficient offense on both teams' ends, which, we could expect that. On the year, these have been two teams in which 17th in terms of offensive efficiency of Houston and then 16th in Golden State. They're playing, I know they're going up against two top 10 defensive efficiency teams, but they're playing like bottom third of the league offensive efficiency teams in terms of numbers. So if they just do their norm, I think we should see over 200 points scored here. But again, if you want to throw in, dude, it's the playoffs. Obviously, they're going to play less efficient offense because the defense is so intense. I totally get it, but there's enough playmakers on both sides here that I think we could get some points when, we've seen in the series so far that they don't score. So give me the Warriors as well as the over. And then, like I said, the player prop's probably the one that I like the most, and I think that we're going to end up rolling with it. We've already lost some coin on him in this series, but Amen Thompson, I like his over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We lost his points plus rebounds, game number 2, I want to say, maybe game number 1. But I think it's a good spot for him now. He hit it in game number 1, which I think in game number 2 is when we rolled with the next one, and he didn't even come close. But yesterday, or last game, he actually did all right, and that was mainly because he had 15 rebound chances. He grabbed 7 rebounds. He shot the ball poorly, took 16 shots, though, and only shot 30% from the field, and he had 11 potential assists. So, yeah, even though he didn't hit the over in this spot, he had plenty of potential assists to do it, like technically speaking, via his numbers, right? So this is a guy that should be shooting. I'll give him 50%, but let's even say 40%. He shot the ball 16 times. Okay, he should have made 7 buckets. That's 14 points at the bare minimum, right? We're not even talking about foul shots and whatnot. Rebound chances, he had 15. He got 7. We say 7 or 8. Okay, now he's up to 21, and he had 11 potential assists. That should be 5 assists at least. He should have had 26 or 7 PRA in that game if you just used the raw sort of average numbers of field goal percentage, rebound chance conversion, and potential assist conversion. So yeah, I like the spot for him, especially if this game does kind of incorporate an over type vibe to it. He'll be running, he'll be grabbing boards. So over 22.5 rebounds plus assists for Amen Thompson. I think that that's probably got the strongest chance of being a final play in this game. And guys, it's going to wrap it up. Quick video, just 2 games, but go ahead and comment 13 if you made it this far into the video. Just about at the 13-minute mark, yes. 13's an unlucky number, but you know what? We're reverse jinxing it. It's going to be a lucky number tonight. Go ahead and comment that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.